Hello, this is Scott. So this is going to be a hands-on Statistica tutorial, this time S71, and we're specifying control limits for variables and process capability. Again, my name is Scott. Here's some contact, a couple ways to contact me in the lower right panel of your screen. So we're going to go straight to Statistica, and hopefully you know this, but there are a lot of different data sets and examples within Statistica. We're going to use one of those data sets today, and it's going to be the cover .sta data set here. All right, so what we have here is essentially two quality characteristics, width and length, manufacturing characteristics actually, and what we have is we're manufacturing plastic cover plates that have to be integrated into an instrument panel. So both here, the width and the length, column 1 and 2, are measured in millimeters, and they're important characteristics for us since we have to fit this piece into a pre-designed frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to construct a couple of different charts, X bar, R charts, in order to monitor the width. At a later point, we'll actually use a control chart for the length. So in this data set, we have 60 different rows. We have three observations for 20 samples, right? So 3 observations per sample, and that data has been put in this table directly from a measurement device from a manufacturing line itself. So let me go into under the statistics tab here. If I go to quality charts and QC charts here, I'm going to select X bar and R chart for variables, click OK, and then I get this dialog right here. The variables that I'm interested in is actual width. I'm going to click OK there, and as I said, we're going to have 3 observations per sample here. So I'm going to change both these, and then I'll just click OK, and then immediately I get an X bar chart and an R chart, and I also get an interactive dialogue that we'll talk through as we go along. So the first thing that we might want to look at this is the variability of the range, or essentially the variability of the process itself via this range chart. We can see that we have one observation that is actually out of control, and so therefore the range itself is suspect. And then when we look at the X bar chart, we can look at this 19th observation or sample of 3 observations is actually falls below the control limits as well. Now, one of the things that we might want to do is look at the run charts themselves. So underneath the main panel, if I click on Run Test, I'll actually produce the tests that are being performed within Statistica. Here, again, I've got this run test. Here's the cover data set, and then I can see, typical default run rules. But I want to let you know that you're not limited to just this set of rules, because if I go under this tab right here, you can see that I can create my own set of rules, which I go in and I can define here. You see, 3 sigma, etc. here for the upper control limit, the lower control limit, etc. And so you can create your own. You can save these specs off as well, so you can do that. So actually, I mean, the upper control, lower control specification limits, the actual run rules themselves, let me show you how I got there, is down here, this by the process capability tab. If I look at the run tab, then I can actually select which tests and everything I want, you know, the Westinghouse type run rules, and you can define and add these as well. Here's the default panel. Okay, and then we have the ability to do process capability and much more. But the last thing that I want to do in this particular video is talk a little bit about process capability. So let's assume that I have a process capability and it's symmetric, and that I want it nominal plus or minus delta. The nominal value, let's say, is going to be 100, and I'm willing to take a delta of 10, and I click OK, and I compute, and then I get my lower specification limit, obviously, and upper bounded about 90 to 110. You know, I'm pretty much on center. You know, you can use these. You can work interactively with the whole system, right? So I can modify these things as I move along. But just back to the process capability, I have a performance index of 1.39, which really is reasonable. You know, if you're Six Sigma, you want this thing to be about 1.5 or better, but that's 3.5. Defects per million. So are on one side, Six Sigma, 610, you know, whatever. I won't get into that now. I need to get back to this. Let me show you one last thing, and I'll wrap this one up. I can also have these charts. I wanted to show you where the process capability chart was under the charts tab here. If I go to histogram, I can produce a process capability. Remember, I put in my specification limits 90 to 110 with a nominal value of 100, and all my CPK, PPK, and everything is given up here as well. So hopefully this was useful, and you can always give me some feedback at one of these two email addresses, my work or personal email address, and thank you very much for your time.